how it is. I've been there. Does my sound okay?
Yeah,
is
you
it
sound
like
great. No, you sound great.
all right? Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready to go when you are.
Go. This work. Okay. It's preparing. All right. So,
We're live on
okay,
Facebook.
this is the first very stupid question I have for you.
Oh gosh, okay.
I need the proper pronunciation of your last name.
I was gonna ask you the same thing, by the way. You might have seen I had a video of like I was being interviewed and I was like going through everybody's names, and then I came to your name and I just like had a moment. I was like, I haven't checked this before, and I was like, Chavez. Are you a hard cha?
I'm a hard cha, like cheese or cha-cha.
I'm a hard cha.
Yes,
oh my God, we're hard cha sisters. Yes.
Hashtag
I'm a hard cha. Yeah. That's it. Chute like choo train.
Oh, okay. Because I said shoot in like
you're
my
fine, you're fine.
in my intro video, and then I kept listening to other interviews with you, and I was like, I can't tell what she's saying.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not very good at saying my own name, which is not helpful. But I appreciate you even trying to like you researched it and everything. No. So I really don't mind. People have called me all sorts of things, many worse than that. So I'm really happy if you just even say the name as it's sort of vaguely spelt.
Oh
so
yeah, my favorite one.
Cha.
I had an Australian, I was doing this live show, and well, it was live, it's pre-recorded live show, right? But before the quarantines, and
Nice.
The interviewer, she was from Australia and had a very thick accent, and she kept calling me Gina Chavez. And I was like, oh wow, okay. And then she was like, and then we did another take, and she's like, well, how do you pronounce your name? And I was like, Chavez, just like cheese or cha-cha. It's very simple, you know. People try to make it really exotic. And she was like, okay, great, I'll get it right this time. And she was like, welcome, Gina Chavez. And I was like,
oh no.
Okay. I'm glad we had that talk.
Yeah, exactly. I see to really go in. All right. Oh well. I like Cha-Cha Chavez. That's cool.
Cha-Cha Chavez, yeah. It works well. Okay,
yeah,
so
totally.
let's get to you though, however. So for my people, so Daisy Chute, so you're from Edinburgh, you live in London now, but honestly, like I don't know how old you are, but you look very young. And you have had quite a career. You know, your career started at 8 years old when you were on stage and as Cosette and Les Miserables, right?
Oh yeah, look at that accent you got as well. Amazing.
And then it was more like the Spanish version though.
I was gonna say it was definitely an accent. I couldn't tell what accent it was, but I knew it was an accent, you know? I was impressed at just the effort of that. That was great.
You know, so you do a jazz album at 15. Yeah. And then since that time, you've released 4 other albums. You're currently working on your first album of your own music.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. I feel like you've had this like kind of long and storied career for being such a young person. And so I just kind of wanted to dive in and like, you know, maybe talk about the time, you know, between age, 15 when you put out your first album to now, and kind of, I don't know, like
age 50. No, I'm joking.
Age 50, yeah. You look really good.
Not there yet. But I would embrace it if I was. I would never be shy. I just, I'm 31 if people are interested. I'm all about claiming my age, and I don't mind like whatever people want to think about it, whatever. I think that your age is your age, and it doesn't have to mean anything more than that, right? It's
Amen. But like, I just feel like you've had such a storied career, and, you've gotten to work with people like Radiohead, and you've had kudos from Guy from Elbow and a thumbs up from Paul McCartney. So I don't know. I think just kind of the first thing is, what is it like working on your own music, and tell us about your upcoming release.
All right, cool. Wow, you've done your research. I'm really impressed, by the way. Amazing, really cool. So I've had a long and checkered career with all sorts of different genres that I've had forays in. So I started off in musicals when I was like 8 or 9 years old, right? And then I was doing jazz music as a teenager, and I still do. But my first album was a jazz album, and then the next 3 albums were classical albums. Because as you do, why not? Because I studied classical singing and composing and different things like that. And so like I know it seems weird from the outside, but it kind of made sense for what I was doing. I was like, doing classical stuff a lot. So then, and then after that, I was then starting to take my own writing a little bit more seriously or something. I don't know the word is, but I was always writing, but I never really kind of identified as that until later on, like until my 20s. And then I was like, actually, that's where I really enjoy, what I really like doing. And that's kind of, I feel like, more authentic and more, maybe I can make more of a difference. That's the wrong word. I don't know. I'm blabbering, but I feel like writing music was where I really loved what I really loved doing. And so I started doing that more and more. And then I kind of found myself in more the folk world. So like folk and Americana, and like kind of delving into my own kind of roots, I suppose. So like from Scotland, I'm also half American. So I've got like this mix of history, right? And like a lot of that kind of transatlantic stuff, I feel like probably feeds into my music. And I don't know if it's obvious to other people, but that certainly is how I am approach, like how I'm, what I'm inspired by when I'm writing. And so, yeah, it's been a weird and wonderful journey, and I'm hoping it doesn't end. I said that it's the end of my life. No, I mean, I'm always experimenting and always be open to lots of different genres and different kinds of things and different instruments. Like if it's not genres that I'm playing around with, it's instruments, as you know. Like I love lots of different instruments. So I like challenges, basically. I like to constantly push myself, I think, and push boundaries and sort of rebel a little bit and kind of shake it up. And I think in terms of my own, I don't know. I think I feel like I'm going to blabber on too much. I'm going to stop. I'm going to quit there. So yeah,
it's okay. The blabbering is, I'm really good at the blabbering too. It's so funny. I'll be on stage, and of course, like, I usually tour with a 5-piece band, and so I'm on stage and I'm telling these stories, and I'm thinking to myself, like, my guys are probably so sick of hearing this same story told in the 6-minute version, And in my head, I'm like, Gina, shut up. Gina, land the plane. Like, let's go.
Land the plane. I like it. It's true. You're a pilot of your own performance. Like you have to like swerve it in the right way and read the room. But it's hard because you can't read your band, because your band, they have heard the shtick before, so you have to just imagine everybody's hearing you for the first time. Otherwise, you get demoralized very quickly.
Well, okay, speaking of live performance, so you were actually, it's so funny, whenever I think of you in your room. Like, that's how you exist. It's just like in this 2D world where you do window sessions.
That's right.
For those who don't know what window sessions is, Daisy has this running, really amazing, like an hour and a half to 2 hour concert, and also just kind of window into her life. And you do such a great job. It sounds beautiful. You play all your different instruments and do cover songs and originals. And anyway, so y'all definitely need to check out window sessions. But I feel like you exist like in that little window.
Yeah, literally window.
So
depending
it's really
on what kind
nice.
of computer you have, right?
Yeah. So it's fun to see you in like a new environment. Where are you?
Where am I now? Well, here I am at the esteemed gig venue in London. Venue in London. That is does lots of gigs, but also has they have like comedy and theater here a bit as well. But it's renowned for its music, and it was actually renowned for like breaking quite a few artists like Ed Sheeran and that kind of thing. So Ed Sheeran, you probably have heard of him, right? Because he's doing quite a lot, right? He has done quite a lot, and he used to play here a lot, and so did lots of other people who are really cool people I admire a lot, like Katie Tunstall and that kind of thing. And anyway, I love her as well. Yeah, the venue is called The Bedford, and it is one of the very few venues that are actually open, because we've not been particularly good with the whole kind of COVID thing. Like, it's funny, I was talking to Irish last week, as well, of course, from Global Music Match, and she was saying in Canada their particular area is like done it really well, so they're back to basically normal. So we're not quite there. But the cool thing about the Bedford is it's big enough for it to be socially distanced and not be like, and still be intimate, so it's tables and chairs. It's so usually it's like maybe 3 times what we can fit, but we've sold out tonight of 60 people, but they're all like socially distanced, but usually it's more. But it's like it feels good still. Like, it doesn't feel like empty in the way that the theater feels empty when you look at it and you like see all these holes, and because the tables and chairs are there, like it's something about I don't know, whatever it is, it feels good. And it's it's I'm enjoying the room upstairs. It's actually upstairs. I'm in the green room right now, and actually this green room is quite new, because it was redone, like the whole place. And
it's green. It's actually green.
It's actually green, and it's got a flamingo, which is cool. But also, like, you know, the old room used to have all these autographs on the wall. So you had Ed Sheeran, you had like all these other artists who played there over the years. And now they don't have it anymore. And I'm thinking, why hasn't somebody signed this wall yet? And I'm thinking, I might do it tonight. I might find a spot and do it tonight. I just need to get my Sharpie.
You need to get the other ones on the bill to do it too. So that way it's just not, they don't call you up and they're like, Daisy, you're never invited back.
You literally put your name on there. We know who you are. Like, yeah, to be the first one is like, you know, awkward.
Here, so you can sign my name too.
Okay. Yeah, they'll get really confused. I'm like, I don't think we've had her, but okay. But, you know, it's like a premonition for when you come over here. You'll be like, that's my name. Like, I meant to play here, right? This is, you know, literally got my name on it. So I'll see if I can get the other artists to do it. It's a good idea.
I'm just gonna
I've got a gold Sharpie.
There you go. Fun. You should sign all the global music, our whole team.
Yeah.
Just put them all on the wall.
Love it. Yes, I'm gonna do that.
You'll be like, wow, they're from Australia and they've never been here.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. I feel like, again, with your career, you know, and I've seen like videos of you playing in front of, you know, on a TV audience with an orchestra and choir behind you and all kinds of, like, you've had some really cool moments in your career. I just wonder, what are the ones that stick, like, what's something that sticks out to you? Like, when you think about your career and you're like, this moment I'm really proud of, or it meant a lot to me.
Oh, man. It's funny because, like, you know, like, the things that I know that I should say that are kind of like the most impressive moments, you know, like an orchestral concert or, you know, like playing at a big arena or that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like I should say those things because that's what people expect. But to be honest, like my favorite moments are those kind of like those moments where you kind of like, you're just in a small intimate venue and you're like, and you can sort of sense the room's energy. Like there's like, you could hear a pin drop and like, you know, I think those moments were like when people start singing along to your songs and you know, which we can't really do at the moment because of COVID. But so like, I was thinking I have to make sure I don't tell people to sing along this time tonight, you know? But yeah, no, I don't know, those moments of like real connection with just like human to human connection rather than like mass connection like that. Like, it's not really, it doesn't feel super connected when you're in this massive space. And like, you don't even feel like that connected to the people on stage because they're kind of far away from you, or, you know, like you don't have the same feel. Like, so I think probably some of my favorite moments are those really intimate moments. I love actually unplugged. So like taking it off the mic. And like, I remember this one moment with my old band where we did a totally acoustic gig in this amazing venue with this incredible acoustic. And that was so special for me because it was like, wow, this feels like we're finally hearing it as it is, instead of like as all the stuff that gets put on, like the reverb and all the kind of flattering things that we all love. But like, actually we were so much more blended, and we were just like, everything was just so in the pocket. I can't explain it. And people were just drawn in rather than like, you know, just being sort of so big and loud and just in your face. Like, it was just, yeah. So that's probably going to be one of my favorite moments. That was at a,
oh, go ahead.
What venue?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, that venue was called King's Place, which is in London, and it's a really beautiful space. So it's like purpose-built music venue. So it's like just really good acoustics, and it's like about, I don't know how many people, maybe like 400 people or something like that, or 300 or something. It's like a kind of nice size room. I think those are probably my favorite sizes, rather than, or like even smaller. Like, I like small rooms, to be honest. That's my favorite.
I was like 300 or 400. That's kind of a lot of people, at least for me.
No, it's still a lot of people. Yeah, no, it's still a lot of people, but it's like, but it's not like, you know, in the kind of thousands that like a arena would be or whatever, you know, like, so like, I think anything under 300 is like my kind of jam, to be honest. Yeah.
So when you perform, I know right now is probably different, but like, do you just perform solo? I mean, you play all the instruments when you go to a gig like this? Are you schlepping your entire like instrument? You are? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, I used to bring 3 instruments, maybe 4 to gigs, and now I've like streamlined to 2. So I've got just my guitar and my banjo, and I've like kind of put everything on those instruments. And this venue upstairs has a piano, so I can play on the piano, which is great. I have to bring it. And then, so I kind of trying to keep it a little bit more manageable, but then I also had to do percussion-y stuff. So I have like a stomp box, which is great because it's so small.
Ooh, which one do you use?
I use the log jam thing. Do you know the log jam? What do you use?
Don't. I have, hold on.
Oh.
So I use this guy.
Oh, is that the Boss?
It's I don't know what that means.
Oh, no, what's that?
It's just like an electronic pad.
Ah.
So and you can
Roland.
Yeah, and you can mount it to like a drum kit, so you can set it up,
brilliant.
and it has like different
it's
sounds.
an SPD.
Yeah.
Is that what that is? Yeah, that's quite expensive, right? Medium.
100.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad. I thought it was much more for some reason, but that yeah, that's cool. That's great. Yeah, no, because that's good. You can make any sound, which the stomp box is nice, just.
Yeah, so you just use it's like a wood one with a
wooden one. That's the one. Exactly.
The thing that I find with those is that like it really depends on the floor it's sitting on, and it depends on the shoes you're wearing.
Yes.
And so like with this, it's really nice because you don't really have to rely on a sound person to be able to dial in a good sound. You can just hey, it's that sound it's supposed to make.
Yeah, it's so true. That's so true. Like what I've ended up doing is I actually bring a little like mini magic carpet and I roll up, and it's like a little carpet that's like, it's also kind of vibey because it's like, I'm always on this carpet wherever I go. It's like this kind of nice. And so I found this like little mini carpet in a store, like just walking by a store one day, and it's perfect because it just gives that little body to the stomp. So it gives that like, and it stays in one place instead of moving around as well, which is a bit of a pain. And then so it makes a much better sound. So yeah, so I've got this stomp, and then I also have a tambourine. So I do like the whole like kick drum tambourine. That's pretty much all I can physically do. But I'm inspired by Sage.
Oh my gosh,
oh my gosh, right? With the beater and the drum, I'm like, wow. But then I'm like, no, Daisy, you're already doing too many things. Don't try and do more. Because I also try and do, I have like a pedal, and I try and do like effects and looping as well. And it's like, there's already enough things going on. I shouldn't do.
What looper do you use?
Okay, yeah, you loop as well.
We're getting gear. We're getting some gear stuff.
Yeah, I like it. So the one I always like TC Helicon stuff. So like they're my
like the voice live, or do you have effects. Like floor?
Well, I did try the voice live. I went for like the most recent Extreme Voice Live 3, and which is like a bit of an upgrade to the one I was using all the time, which was the Play Acoustic.
Okay.
And I have to say I actually returned it because I didn't think it was warranted, like how much more money it was for what it could do. Yeah. Like it didn't do like an awful lot more. So I'm like, I like, and I also didn't like how big it was. Like I kind of like that mine, I can fit in my handbag, like it's small enough. Like I don't have to like lug around a whole lot, and it does so many things. The looping function is okay, but it is a little short. So so we're getting really gearhead now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we're probably gonna have to like. I'm really interested, but everybody else is like.
Yeah. We'll talk about this some more. I'd like to hear about your gear as well. Maybe when I can interview you about that in the future. But yeah, I like TC Helicon products though. I think they're pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I would love to continue with this conversation, but everybody else is really bored. Okay. Okay, we do have to hear the Paul McCartney story. I'm sure that you're sick of telling it, but
it's fine. Don't worry.
It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Okay, so Paul McCartney, yeah. Obviously, you know him. He's pretty famous. He was in the Rolling Stones. No, I'm joking. Can you imagine? No, he was obviously in the Beatles, and he was actually, he had like a classical phase. Like that sounds like it was like, oh, it was a phase. I just mean like he did a few classical things for a while, and so he had this album that was out at the same time as my old band's album, and so we were up for the Classical Brit Award, which I don't know if you know the Brit Awards, but they're like, I'm trying to think of an equivalent award in America. This is stupid. I can't think of one. But anyway, it's just like the Classical Brit Award. So we were up for the same award of Album of the Year.
So cool.
And so we were at the Albert Hall, and the band that I was in, we were singing like a couple of songs for the televised thing at the Albert Hall. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't performing, but he was like there because he won the award. So he was there to receive the award. And he came up to us after we performed, and he was like, I can't do a Liverpudlian accent. I to be honest, I could probably try and nobody would know in America because they would be like, just whatever. But no, it's such a distinctive accent. I'm so bad at accents. I'm seriously so bad. Anyway, he came over and he was like, "Great job, girls." And then he said, "Who is that singing the low notes?" And that was me, because I was the one who's always the low singer, which nobody ever talks about because it's like everybody loves the high notes, right? They're always like, oh, who notices the low notes, right?
Yeah.
Paul McCartney notices the low notes because he's a bass player, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was like, who was that singing the low notes? And everybody pointed at me, and I was like, yeah. He was like, great job. And I was like, he gave me the thumbs up. And I was like, well, actually, can I say the full story of this? Because this is I sort of said the shortcut of the story. What really happened was this. We met, we shook hands, we had a photo. My friend came up from behind me, hadn't seen him for a few years, and he said, Daisy, long time no see. And I was like, I'm literally talking to Paul McCartney now, I can't talk. But then I was like, I'm going to do the decent thing as a friend, and I'm going to not talk to the famous person, I'm going to talk to you.
No,
and so I
see, that's where you went wrong. That's when you say, you're still going to be my friend. You just turn to him and you're like, I got to go. Love you.
I know, right? But anyway, I was just like, no, I'm going to be a good person here. Anyway, so I was just trying to be all high and mighty. Anyway, so I turned away from Paul McCartney, and then I spoke to my friend, and then this is when he asked the rest of the group, who was that singing the low notes? Yeah. And they pointed to me. But I missed it. I missed him saying this.
Okay,
like, so I just heard this secondhand.
Okay, but here's the other thing. If I were in your band, I would have been like slugging you and being like, get over here. Right? Like, yeah. What kind of band friends are these?
Right.
And the other guy, he's not a friend either. Clearly.
I mean, to be honest, I think he just wanted to meet Paul McCartney too. That's probably what that was. But yeah. Anyway, I just was like, I felt like I was choosing some like moral thing at this point in time, and I was like, you know, if I will live with myself better if I choose my friend over Paul McCartney, which now I'm regretting. So there you go.
Or you bring him into the fold, and you're like, hey, good to see you. Come talk to Paul with us.
I mean, I should have done that, but it felt kind of awkward. I don't know. It felt like, anyway.
No, I literally think you would have been like, hey, so good to see you. Let's talk in 5 minutes. I got a thing.
You know what? I should be more like that. I should be more direct like that. I mean, it's not very British to do that. You know, we're all very, very polite, and, you know, it's very unusual if anybody actually says what they mean when it comes to that kind of situation. But I'm half American, so half of me wants to do that. But the other half is like, no, Daisy, no, you're in Britain right now.
Yeah. Well, and get your American, you know, arsehole side on. Okay, I know you want to go see the performer who is performing before you, so I'm going to do a couple rapid fire questions, and then we will continue this another time. So here we go.
I'm ready.
Most underrated kitchen appliance.
Oh, I love this question. Underrated kitchen. Oh God, lemon squeezer.
Oh my God,
is that an appliance?
Yeah, somebody else said
that.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. And by the way, I'm using these really cute cards called Taco About It by
I love that.
A brand in Austin that I absolutely adore. It's called Siete Foods, and they make like really amazing grain-free like tortilla chips and tortillas and queso and like all this kind of stuff. It's really good. Anyway,
grain-free as well.
Grain-free, dairy-free. It's amazing. So
I'm so into that. Yeah, so, you're gonna let me know about that. Yeah,
talk about it. Okay,
I love it.
Toilet paper, over or under?
What? What do you mean, like, over or under?
You know, like when you're pulling it, is it coming?
Over.
Yeah. Like who does under? What is that?
I know.
We decided we were going to disown our friends who had under. You just leave the house. You're just like, I can't even go to the bathroom in here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What place in the world do you find perfect?
Oh. Interesting. Place in the world. That's a whole big place. It's the whole. You know what? I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm thinking my parents' garden, like where I grew up. There's like we had a kind of woody garden.
This is in Scotland, right?
In Scotland,
I've been there, and yes, continue.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go tomorrow. My dad's turning, not 80, 70, sorry. I hope he's not watching. No, he's turning 70 tomorrow. And I'm going to go up and celebrate with him. And we're, so the first time seeing him in many, many months, but it's all like legit and loud and everything. We're going to be social distance. But they have, the house I grew up in was a bed and breakfast. And we have this really nice like garden with like a kind of woodlandy kind of garden. So it's like I used to love like playing in the garden and like climbing trees, and I was a bit of a tomboy, and like I all the stuff that you do in gardens, and like that sounds weird, I realize. Anyway, you know what I mean.
like.
But I just like, whenever I can, I'll like have a little walk around it when I'm visiting, and it's just like such a nice moment of peace, just being like with all this nature, and it's so different for me because I'm in London and it's so busy and hectic and concrete and like there's green stuff there, but like just to be totally peaceful and just like have birds tweeting around you and just like sound of rustling leaves as a squirrel runs by you, and you know, I don't know, just like all that stuff is, and the smells of the flowers in the garden, that's probably a happy place for me. That's so good.
So quick story, my wife and I, for our honeymoon, we went and toured Europe, and we put a few shows together to kind of help pay for our travels,
Yes,
and so,
I do the same. Yeah, absolutely.
So we, so I did some shows in Scotland, and we had the best time. But
oh my gosh.
first, so we literally arrive in Glasgow, and then we're getting picked up by like a friend of someone who had reached out to me who was doing a concert. So it wasn't the people doing the concert, it was like a friend of them. So like we didn't even know this person, right? And he drives up.
I love it.
And we're like, oh hey, like what do you do? And what, we're gonna go stay at your house, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm retired, I do a little gardening. And we're like, cool, like that's awesome. We get to their house, and it's literally like they have 10 acres, and it's like entering the Shire in Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Like it's just, come on. There's so much green and rain in Scotland that it's just out of this world. And so we literally walk on there. We're like, oh, this is what gardening means.
I love it. And
like I can't even like keep a plant alive.
Yeah, I know.
Gardening.
I'm the same. Like literally,
And they basically live in a castle. So we like slept in a castle with like a 10
there's
acre garden.
A dozen in Scotland.
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, okay. All right.
That's amazing. That sounds really cool.
I will burst into song if comes on. What song?
Oh, I like this. If the first song that came into my it came into my head was How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes. I don't know why.
Nice.
Came into my head. How do I? That way. There was a time when I loved Leanne Rimes, and like I was always listening to her stuff. Anyway, that just came into my head. There you
go. So a crazy story. I recently, I was on this podcast by Brene Brown. I'm not sure if you know her stuff, but anyway, she has a pretty big following. Yeah, she's incredible. So after that podcast, I literally got followed by Leanne Rimes.
No.
Yeah,
no.
she's like in my Instagram DMs. I'm like,
oh my God.
Anyway.
That's insane.
I know.
It's like maybe I read your mind, and like that was why I said that. Like I don't know why it came into my head. That's so weird. There you go.
Okay, and then also I know that you were potentially prepared to play something, but I realized we're taking up all of your time to go see this other artist.
What is
so
the
I don't
time?
know if you want to do something.
Oh yeah, I could play something quick. Yeah, okay. I could just do like half a song even. Like, do you want me to, like, do you have any particular songs or styles you want me to play? My banjo's up on stage, so I can't do banjo, but I could do guitar.
No, I think you should just pick something that you want the people to hear.
Are people in a kind of like in a mellow mood or in a kind of like upbeat mood? What are you thinking?
I personally am, let's see. I don't know if the people
are people commenting, because I can't see anything, so I'm gonna look.
It's kind of a weird time here because it's like,
I know it's like middle of the day.
Stuff. Yeah. Let's go with more chill. Okay,
let's go with chill. So this is a song that is actually inspired. I was thinking about this one anyway because I like for a while one of the things I haven't like released any recordings of, but like for a while I was in a band that was like kind of Latin American actually. So like so like with a Brazilian bassist and a guitarist who was like a Spanish guitarist, so like, and so it was mixing like kind of Spanish infused music with like, with other kinds of things. So we were like looking at music from Renaissance times in Spain and like rearranging it for like modern times. And then we were also looking at like Latin American music. So like as a jazzer, I would often do bossa nova music and that kind of thing, like Antonio Carlos Jobim and people like that, and Baden Powell, and just all that kind of world of of like Latin American jazz. And so I've got a real soft spot for that music, and I always listen to a lot of that kind of music. So I sort of this is actually came from a period when I was listening to a lot of that music, and also it came from a story of my songwriting partner who actually went to Brazil, to Rio, for a while, and he fell in love with this woman who he never confessed his love to. And he had this haunting line that he like stayed with him for many years. Like, he's now married, he's got kids, like he's all happy, but like he had this haunting kind of line in his head for so long, which was, "I left my heart in Rio," which is like this tragic story. And so he told me the story, and then he had this line, and we then expanded from that and made this song. So this is called "I Left My Heart in Rio."
Ooh.
And it's got a little bit of Brazilian Portuguese in it, and it's kind of bossa nova style, so like very chilled, and hopefully you'll like it. And this is a good warm-up for me because I'm going to play this very soon on stage. So with the pedal steel player of all things, so there you go.
All right, Daisy Chute, "I Left My Heart in Rio."
I'll just do half of it. Okay, here we go. I hope this doesn't distort too much. Okay. People say it's just a dream that you forget what you don't see. I forget you every day, and all I want to say. Silence thoughts, silence stars. I can hear you from afar. The sound, the sea, the melody of all you and all you might still be. In gentle waves, you're calling me back to the place I want to be, and I will return again. I left my heart in Rio, too many words unsaid. Oh, how I want to see you one more time again. To the bone, to the bone, da do 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 da. I'll leave it there. There's a whole second half you can hear if you want. Oh, you're still muted.
Muted. Okay. Ah! That's one thing I like had, just having no audience. So I'm like, when you finish a song and then like no one's
like,
there,
you want to be like, wah! You want to have like some canned applause or something, right?
They need to have those options now on like live streams where you can be like, applause.
Yeah, I know, right? There should be some sound moment there. Like, I know I could probably work it out. I just like, it feels weird to press like my own applause, you know? You know what I mean? Like, it's just
like
so
flash
wrong.
on the screen, applause.
Yeah. I'm just used to now the deafening silence after I sing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to hopefully some applause tonight. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. I'm sure you'll get some wonderful applause. Well, speaking of, I want to go ahead and let you get on to your gig. Go support the other artists on the bill. And is there any way for us to actually watch what you're doing tonight, or is it?
Yes, there is actually.
Ooh.
I'm on Facebook Live, so it will be. I'm going to post the link actually now, so you can see it if you go to my Facebook page.
Okay, all right.
So my Facebook page is Daisy Chute Official. So the Chute, like the choo-choo train, Chute with a U, Chute, and official. So Daisy Chute Official, and you'll find all of my various posts, and including the live stream for tonight. So I've got a whole set together with the pedal steel player who I adore, and he's a wonderful player and person, and we've got a whole set of music for you, so I hope you enjoy it. Oh, you're still muted, I think.
Okay. Sorry, I was typing. I didn't want to get typing sounds in there. Okay, so we'll continue our conversation. Daisy, you are just such a joy. Your voice is angelic. in my opinion.
Thank you.
And I do think it's kind of interesting that you're singing the low notes. You were singing the low notes on the story with Paul McCartney because like you obviously have an incredible range. So
thanks.
You know,
but when you're in a vocal harmony group, like somebody's got to do the low notes, somebody's got to do the, you know what I mean? Like, and so
yeah, I was an alto in choir, and of course you always get the weird parts that like have strange interval jumps and stuff, which I actually really enjoyed.
I think it makes you a better musician to have to do those things that are not like, you know, the melody, right? Because like having to do harmonies like that is like that's the hard bit, I think. But yeah. So I'm grateful for that, to be honest. I like that. I like that I had the weird notes. But yeah, okay, cool. Well,
all right.
Thank you
we'll
so
go
much
sing all of the beautiful notes tonight. We will have more with Daisy Chute and Gina Chavez, what do we call it?
The Chute sisters. I don't know.
The Chute sisters. When's our band? When do we start?
I know, right? I know.
All right, y'all. Signing off from Texas and
from London, UK.
All right. Peace out, Daisy.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, amazing. You could do the whole live thing like that.
I think I stopped the live stream.
It looks like it stopped. You didn't swear or something.
I'm like, I haven't ever done this before. So anyway, super appreciate you. What are you drinking, by the way?
I'm on a cider, but I'm gonna go pick out a beer because I've been requested, not a song, but a beer review on stage. This will be a first. So I'm gonna go buy a beer, and then I'll like review it on stage as part of my set. Are
you getting paid for that?
As you do. No, I'm not getting paid for the beer review.
Man, come on, you gotta start charging for that.
I know, right? I know I should. But yeah. So in fact, actually, talking of which, Irish Mylan was like, because we were meant to do a drinks review as part of the live stream, but because of the time, like getting muddled, she didn't have a drink to review. So she said, let's do it at some point later. And then she said we should do it with Gina. And then she was like, she's up for that if you're up for that. And like I am, as you know, a night owl, so I can do it late. But if we could find a time that works for us all, then I'm up for that. If you want to do like a random drinks review.
Oh my God, that's fun.
At some point.
That's fun.
We were talking about even this weekend, but I don't know if that's too busy for you. But maybe we'll text.
Yes, we'll work it out. The only issue is that I'm currently doing Whole30. Do y'all have that? Do y'all know?
Oh
what
my
that
God, yeah. No, but you can drink anything. You don't have to drink. I have done Whole30 and I love it.
Oh, okay. Like, so not necessarily like alcohol, because I can't have like anything with sugar or like.
You can have tea or coffee or whatever you want to drink. Yeah, like, it doesn't have to be. Like I'm gonna do an alcoholic drink, just because it's late. It'll be late night for me, so that makes more sense. But to be honest, it's kind of fun if we're all doing random different drinks. So if you're up for it,
okay, I'm up for it.
I think Irish wanted to review a beer, so I think that's why she was just like annoyed that she didn't have one to review. So so if you're up for that, she talked about Saturday even, but I don't know if that's like. I mean, well, let's text about it and figure out a thing, but maybe not this weekend, but maybe another time. But we'll figure it out. Okay.
Excellent. Cool. All right. Well, have a wonderful show.
Thank you.
I'll share the link on our post.
Yeah, and I'll do the same on my Facebook now, so it's all up there. Okay. Mwah.
Goodbye, darling.
Bye. Thank you.